sales tax, tips, discount, and markup. All right, so first of all, we have a problem that says a shirt has a price, has a price tag of $27.33. The sales tax is 5%. What would a customer pay for the shirt? The shirt has a price tag of $27.33. The sales tax is 5%. What would the customer pay when they walk up to the cash register with the shirt? What are they going to pay? Well, they're not going to pay $27.33 because the owner of the store has to pay the state, whatever state they're in, the state sales tax, and so the shirt is going to be more than $27.33. So we have to take $27.33 and we have to multiply it by the tax rate, which is 5%. Okay? So we need to then, in order to punch this in the calculator, we need to change the percent into a decimal. Remember, the decimal point is understood after the 5. It's got to move 2 places to the left. And so we get $27.33 being multiplied by 0.05. When we do that multiplication, punch that in the calculator, we get 1.3665. Well, we're talking about money, so since we're talking about money, we have to round to 2 decimal places, the hundredths place. We look next door, 5 or more raise the score, so this drops, but the 6 gets bumped up to a 7. So the $1.37 is the tax. That's not what the customer is going to pay. That's the tax that's going to be added to the price of the shirt. So now we have to go back and take $27.33 and add $1.37 in sales tax. And when we do that, we get $28.70. The question, remember, we always go back and look and see if we're answering the question. What would a customer pay for the shirt? They would pay $28.70. All right, next example. A meal, looks like it might be steak, cost $43.96, and you decide to leave a 15% tip. 15% is okay. Nowadays, 20% is better if the service is really good. How much will you pay for the meal with the tip? meal is $43.96. And you decide to leave a 15% tip. So with it being a tip, that means it's going to be added to the $43.96. We have to calculate what that tip amount is first. So we have to take $43.96 and multiply it by the tip rate that we're going to give, which is 15%. The 15% needs to be changed into a decimal. So for this to drop, that understood decimal moves twice. We get $43.96 times 0.15. When we multiply 43.96 times 0.15, we get 6.594. We're talking about money, so we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. The 4 tells us keep the 9, so we round this to $6.59. But that's the amount of the tip. It's got to be added back. So this is the tip. It's got to be added back, 43.96 plus $6.59. When I add that together, I get $50.55. That's the cost of my meal with the tip. All right. For number 3. A pair of pants cost $70. The store is having a sale that gives a 25% discount on all items purchased. What would you pay for these pants? This time we're talking about discount. Discount means you're taking something off. You're reducing. So the pants are $70. They're going to give me a 25% discount, which means that that discount amount is going to come off of the $70. So we have to take $70 and multiply it by 25%, which is $70 times 25% is 0.25. When I multiply 70 times 0.25, I get $17.50. This is the discount. This is how much they're going to take off the price of the pants. It's not what we pay for the pants. The business would go out of business if they were selling it for that, because I'm sure it costs them much more than that. So we have to take the $70 and subtract the discount. And when we take 70 minus 1750, we get 52.50. Okay, so we've seen tip, that gets added to the bill. We've seen taxes, that gets added to the cost. We've now seen discount that comes off or is subtracted. Okay. I run a computer store. I sell a computer that cost me $920 at a 42% markup. What do I sell the computer for? Would probably be better to say, what price would I sell the computer at, or what would be the price that I charge customers for the computer. But anyway, so mark up in the word, it's telling you that you're going to mark it up. The price is going to go up. So we're going to be adding. So I have to take $920 and I have to multiply that by 42%. And when I take 920, let's see, that's going to be times 0.42 as a decimal. That gives us $386.40. That is my markup or my profit. The store has to make a profit or you won't stay in business. So we then take 920 and we add this markup amount. And when we do, we get $1,306.40. That's what we would sell the computer for in our store. Markup is added to the cost of the product. Okay, now the problems are going to start getting a little more complicated. And you're going to have to be very careful about your steps, because if you're not, your numbers are going to get all jumbled together. So, a store is having a sale on bikes. The sale is 15% off the price of any bike. I choose a bike with a price tag showing the price is $325. The store charges 7% sales tax. What do I pay at the cash register for this bike. Store's having a sale on bikes. Sale is 15% off. I choose a bike that has a price tag on it that says $325. The store charges 7% sales tax. I want to know, what am I going to pay for this bike when I walk up to the cash register and they ring it up? Well, the first thing I need to do is determine what the cost of the bike is going to be with the discount. There's a 15% discount. So I have to take the $325 bike and I have to apply a 15% discount. And so this is 325 times 0.15, and I get $48.75. And on these problems, since they're going to get longer, I like to write down next to the number what this is. This is the discount, because you're going to have a list of several things here, and it will be helpful if you write down what it is you just calculated. I just calculated the discount. So now I have to determine what is the cost of the bike with the discount. So I have to take $325, subtract off $48.75. And when I do that, I get $276.25. This is the sale price. This is what it costs now with the discount applied. Okay. Then we pick up the bike, we take it up to the cash register. They're going to ring in $276.25 and then hit the tax. So we're going to have to find out how much tax we're going to pay. $276.25 times the tax rate of 7%. 276.25 times 7% would be 0.07. This gives us 19.3375. We round that to the nearest penny, which is the hundredths. This becomes $19.34. This is the sales tax. Now I have to take the sales tax and add it back to what the cost of the bike is on sale. So I have to take $276.25 and add the $19.34 sales tax. And when I do that, I get $295.59. That's what I would pay at the cash register. Okay. This is something you need to know how to do, even if you are not taking the GED. Because you can walk into a store and they can say that something is 15% off and it not be 15% off. And you walk up to the cash register and you don't question it, they're going to ring it up and they took money from it. I don't know how many times I've gone into a store, and hopefully nobody in class here works for Walmart, but Walmart is bad about the price tag and the sales thing not matching, and it says that it's 12% off. You go up to the cash register and pay for it, and you go back outside and you realize, wait a minute, they only gave me a 5% discount. It said 12. So you've got to know how to do this, and you should be checking things like this when you go out and buy things to make sure that you're not getting ripped off, because it's very, very simple, very easy for somebody to rip you off because they don't think you're going to check. 99% of the people that go into a store don't check. Most of them don't even check their receipt to make sure they paid what they were supposed to. Okay? All right, number 6. This one's another bike problem. And it says that I own a bike store and my markup is 63% on all of my products. One of my bikes cost me $395. If I have to charge 8% sales tax, what would a customer pay for this bike? I have to buy the bike for $395. I have a 63% markup on all of my products. If somebody comes in and buys that bike, I've got to also charge 8% sales tax. I want to know, what is it going to cost for a customer to come in and get that bike? So the first thing I need to determine is, what is the amount of the markup? So we have to take the cost of the bike, multiply it by the markup rate. So $395 times 0.63. 63% as a decimal is 0.63. When I do that calculation, I get $248.85. This is the markup. Again, write down next to it what it is you just found, and it will be easy for you to come back and pull up these numbers. Now that I know that's the markup, that's got to be added back to what I paid for the bike. This is my profit. And when I add that, I get $643.85. This is the price tag. This is what I put on the bike when I take it out and put it on the sales floor. A customer comes in and wants to buy it, so 643.85 times the sales tax rate of 8%, we get 643.85. 8% as a decimal moves 2 places, it becomes 0.08, and this becomes 51.508. That means that this gets rounded to $51.51. This is the sales tax. So I have to then go back and take the $643.85, and I have to add the sales tax of $51.51, and I get $695.36. Writing down the steps And marking what it is you are finding will help you solve these problems. I also want you to notice that I did not read this problem and instantly go, oh, the answer is $695.36. I'm still getting that. I'm still getting pages of answers with no work. When you go back to look at it later, which I hope you're studying the work that you do before you go and take a pre-test or a practice test or the actual GED test, if all you got is a page of numbers, you don't have any idea what you did. Because I think some of you too do the work off on the scratch paper, and then you either throw the scratch paper away or you've got this page that you're going to look at 2 weeks later, and it's just got stuff written all over. Do the work with the problem. Keep it all together so that you can go back 2 weeks from now and say, oh, okay, yeah, I see what I had to do. Yeah, it makes sense. I know what to do. Instead of trying to decipher a page full of answers that doesn't have anything on it but just answers, or a piece of scrap paper that's got stuff just written all over it, and you have no idea which step went with what problem, and you just have a mess. Keep your work organized, but do not give me a page full of answers. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. All right. Now I'm going to give you a couple to do and see what you get. That's a 5. An item is $5.36. Sales tax is 7%. What does the customer pay? All right, let's take a look. So we would need to take $5.36 and multiply it by 7%, which is $5.36 times 7% is the decimal, is 0.07. When I punch that in the calculator, I get 0.38. It rounds to 38 cents. Then we have to take the $5.36 and add the sales tax of 38 cents, and that gives us the $5.74. Good. All right. Let me give you one more, and then we will take our break. Item is $420. It's on sale for 22% off. Sales tax is 6%. What would the customer pay for the item? Let's see. So we have to take the $420 item, multiply it by 22%, which means we're multiplying 420 times 0.22. When I do that, I get 92.40. That is the discount. That means that's how much comes off. So now I have to take 420 and subtract $92.40. That gives me $327.60. This is the sale price. So now I need the sales tax. So $327.60 times the sales tax rate is 6%. $327.60 times 0.06 comes out to, rounded off, $19.66. This is the sales tax. So then we have to take $327.60 and add $19.66, and we get $347.26. Very good. Looks like somebody may have rounded a little bit differently, but should have gotten $347.26. So go back and take a look if you didn't get that.
If you liked this video, please click the thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please click the subscribe button. If you want to be notified about new videos, please click the notification button.